y'all, welcome back to my channel. I have 4 easy recipes for you guys this week. First, we are going to start out making an easy weeknight meatloaf. This tastes just like my daddy made it. In my bowl, I'm mixing together 1.5 pounds of hamburger, half a bag of Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix, a teaspoon each of onion and garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste, a teaspoon and a half of dried basil, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 egg, and a 1/4 cup of ketchup. I've mixed that together really well until everything's well combined. And now I'm going to put it in my pan and shape it into a loaf form. We're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. And while the meatloaf is in the oven baking, I'm just going to go ahead and make my sauce that goes on top. It is just 1/2 cup of ketchup and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar mixed until it's completely smooth. And then we want to set it to the side and get started on our potatoes for the side dish. For the potatoes, I'm just going to fry these up in my cast iron skillet. I am going to top this with about 2 good spoonfuls of bacon grease. I'm going to season with some salt and pepper. Measure with your heart. There's no precise measurements on how you like it. And then just mix this all really well. If you don't have bacon grease, you can absolutely sub out any kind of like vegetable oil or canola oil or anything like that. I've melted down about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to add my potatoes in, cover them, and let them fry, stirring occasionally. And while the potatoes are working, we're going to go ahead and pull the meatloaf out of the oven, top it with our sauce, and then pop it back in for another 15 minutes. Alright, y'all, supper is done. If I would have added some diced green peppers to my meatloaf, it would have tasted identical to my daddy's, but it was so close. But the meatloaf's done, the potatoes are done, and then any true Southerner will know what these are, filled peas and snaps. So it's time to plate up and eat supper. Y'all should definitely give this a try, and if you do, let me know down in the comments what you think about it. The next meal we're going to make is Swedish meatball casserole. This takes me back to my childhood. We are going to start out by melting 5 tablespoons of butter in a skillet. You want to add 2 cups of beef broth and a cup of heavy cream. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, salt, measure with your heart, and then about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. You also want to add about 1/3 of an onion, but I use minced dried onion instead. That way my family didn't complain. And just stir this all together. And then you want to add in about 3 tablespoons of flour. This will just thicken up your gravy. And bring it to a boil. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of sour cream. And we're just going to whisk this in until our gravy and sauce mixture is smooth. While my gravy is doing its thing on the stove, I have put some frozen meatballs in the microwave for just a couple minutes. Then I'm going to add them directly into my sauce and coat them really well. And once that's done, I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to drain my 8-ounce bag of egg noodles. And then we're going to put those in the pot and then add our sauce and meatball mixture to the pot and stir everything around, get everybody acquainted. Let them party together for a little bit, and then we'll transfer all of this right over to a baking dish. We're going to put this in a 375-degree oven, and in about 20 to 25 minutes, it will be time to eat. And you can serve this alone or with whatever side you choose. But either way, it's so good. And I promise you, if you ate this as a child, like I did growing up, it will literally take you right back to your childhood. My whole family gave this meal a 10 out of 10, and I will say it reheats beautifully the next day. Next, we're going to make Parmesan chicken bites. I have 5 thin cut chicken breasts that I have cubed up. I'm going to add a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half teaspoon each of onion powder and dried oregano. I'm going to season with salt and pepper. Measure with your heart. You know what you like. I don't. And then we're just going to mix this around really well just to coat the chicken. Next, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle over about 2 to 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm going to stir this around and coat the chicken pieces really well. This will just give our chicken a nice crust when we put it in the skillet. Go ahead and warm up a couple tablespoons of oil in your skillet. Add your chicken in, brown it on each side and make sure it's no longer pink in the middle. Once that's done, sprinkle over about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. You want to just remove this from the heat, put a lid on it, and let it sit so the cheese is all nice and melted. When it's done, sprinkle it with dried or fresh parsley, however you choose, and then serve it with whatever sides you like, or this is perfect on top of a salad. The last meal of the week is always a family favorite, whether it is made in the oven, made in the crock pot, or like this. I'm going to show you how to make country style steak in the Instant Pot. You just need about 1.5 pounds of thinly cut cube steak. Then you want to take each one of your cube steak pieces and cut that up into smaller pieces and pop it down inside of a Ziploc bag. Go ahead and add 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour down into your bag full of cube steak, and then seal it shut, and then just shake it all around. That way you coat each one of your cube steak pieces. Now we're just going to turn the Instant Pot on to saute, let it get hot, heat up a couple tablespoons of oil, and then we're going to brown our cube steak pieces on each side. We're not trying to cook it all the way through. We just need a brown crust on each side. Once you've got the brown on each side of the cube steak, go ahead and remove your pieces, set them in a bowl to the side or on a plate, and then continue to brown up the rest of your meat until everything's done. Once you've browned up all of your cube steak, you want to add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of beef broth and 1 sliced onion down into your Instant Pot, and you want to cook these until the onions are soft, not caramelized, but just soft. While the onions are cooking in the Instant Pot, we're going to make our gravy mixture. It's just 1 packet of dried onion soup mix, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, and then 2 cups of beef broth. Go ahead and whisk this together really well. Make sure everything is incorporated, there's no lumps. Then we're going to set this to the side. Now that our onions are done sauteing, it took about 5 to 7 minutes, we're going to add back into the Instant Pot all of our browned cube steak pieces, And then you want to pour over your gravy mixture that we made and just make sure each piece of cube steak is submerged under the liquid. Now we're going to put the lid on, set it to sealing, turn the Instant Pot on to high pressure, set it for 20 minutes, let it cook. It'll do a natural release, and then you're ready to serve however you like. We served our meat over mashed potatoes, paired it with some green beans and a croissant. It is so good. Thank y'all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me in the kitchen. I do hope you'll give these recipes a try and let me know what you think. If you are not already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload. And if you could do me a really big favor and give this video a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Bye, y'all.